Welcome to the Longest Take podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the Longest Take podcast. In today's episode, we are joined by KateLynn E. Newberry. KateLynn has appeared in Clint Eastwood's Juror Number 2 and Hulu's Mike, most recently, proving her ability to thrive in high-profile productions. As the lead in indie standouts such as Replicator and Devour, she has delivered powerful performances that showcase her range in psychological thrillers, sci-fi, and drama. Please welcome KateLynn to today's episode. First things first, what are your top 5 favorite movies?
So the Rocky Horror Picture Show is my favorite movie on the planet. I watched it for the first time when I was 7. I really love What We Do in the Shadows and Pulp Fiction. I'm a big fan of V for Vendetta and probably Underworld, honestly, the first one. I like the first one the best.
Yeah, I think that one's usually regarded as the best one too, but
it's totally the best.
Have you seen any of the fun showings that they do for Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yes. I dress up like Frankenfurter. I have one of the tattoos in my bedroom just in case I need to dress up like Frankenfurter.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there's this theater out by me that does it every once in a while, and it's just I love to see that. Like to have a community so involved with the movie that they do it and you do all this fun stuff with it. There's this movie called The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar.
So
I've seen that live as well.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna bring up. So over at this theater in Chicago, they did it, and there's a scene where everybody throws the spoons.
Yeah.
When you see the picture, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But
every time I go see Rocky Horror Picture Show with the shadow cast, I'm always dressed up like Frankenfurter because Frankenfurter is my favorite character in a film ever. And they're always like, "Oh my god, my cats are being crazy. I'm sorry." Oh
that's
god.
Okay.
Stop. But they're always like, "Do you want to work here?" So maybe someday I'll join a shadow cast for Rocky Horror if they let me.
Yeah, there you go. That would be great. I mean, you've got all the credentials of being an actress, so I mean, why not, right?
I know all the words to the movie.
Yep. That's awesome. So, speaking of what you do, right? You're an actress. I noticed that a couple of not the first, but within the first couple years, you were in Auditorium 6 and I think Notes from Melanie, both projects by Chris Stuckmann, who I'm guessing you guys are both Ohio natives or something.
Yeah, we lived like 15 minutes away. Well, I'm not actually an Ohio native. I'm actually originally from New York State, but I lived in Ohio for 7 years, and him and I lived like 15 minutes away from each other. And he was doing Auditorium 6, and somebody referred me to him, and we just became friends. Actually, when I went to see The Room, I went with Chris and a bunch of other people that I had befriended through him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was a cool experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it's pretty cool how, obviously as you've gone through your career, you've been, I'm not going to say focused on horror, but there's a lot of horror to your filmography. And his movie, which hasn't come out yet, Shelby Oaks, is also a horror film. His debut is a horror film. So do you see yourselves crossing paths again in the future?
I would love to work with Chris again. I don't know. I obviously don't know what will happen. But I would love to work with Chris. I had a lot of fun working with him on both of the films that we worked together on. He's very collaborative. He's a very good director. Obviously we became friends through it. So I hope so. Shelby Oaks looks really cool.
Yeah, and it got picked up by Neon.
Yeah, it did. Auditorium 6, which I don't know if Auditorium 6 ever got released publicly. But it was a really cool film, and then Notes from Melanie was adorable. So
yeah, that one's really funny to watch, and that one you could pull up. You could pull up on YouTube now if you wanted to. But Auditorium 6 was released for a second, and then I think because the ownership of it is some other company, that it's just like indefinitely just like not accessible. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. I think I got to see it whenever it was first like.
It's a cute movie. We had a lot of fun shooting it. We shot in that theater for 5 days. I believe we were shooting overnights, which I prefer overnights because I'm a night person. But yeah, it was cute. The makeup that they had done on me was really cute because I was that little ghost. So I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, hopefully you two get to, cross paths again. I think that would be pretty neat, and hopefully at some point Auditorium 6 could just like, I don't know, be shadow dropped somewhere so people could watch it if they wanted to.
It's a cute movie.
Yeah, and it's I used to work at a movie theater, so there were some days where it's like you're there at like 3 a.m. cleaning up after like a really long day of like Marvel movies or whatever, and there's something about just yeah, and there's something about like the quiet though of like being in the movie theater that late that I don't know, that must have been fun to film in. That must have been really fun. Cool. But speaking of projects again, so I donated to this project called Frenzy Moon, directed by Gregory Lamberson. And something that I realized, especially doing this interview, is that you played I think is it a minor role?
Yes, I'm in the beginning of the film.
Okay, and what was that like?
So this is my second time working with Greg, actually. I did Widow's Point with him as well. Also a minor role in that. I love working with Greg. He's just a great person. His sets are always well run. He's got so much respect for everybody. Yeah, we had a great time. I was only on for 2 days. But I live in Georgia. My family's out in New York, so I went to stay with my family while I was filming that, which is also kind of nice because he lives kind of close to where my family lives, and I don't usually film out there. Most of the stuff that I shoot is, down south or Los Angeles or something like that. So that was kind of cool. The practical effects are super cool. The werewolf is really dope. So I'm really excited to see what he does with it. I'm excited. I don't know. I didn't read the entire script just because I'm only in the beginning. So I'm excited to see the entire movie because the werewolf is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, my son is. I don't know what he's doing, but anyway, yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm most looking forward to when this actually releases is the practical effects. Because, seeing something just like, is it a person in a suit, right? Or is it a mechanical thing that he's doing?
There's somebody in the suit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's, I'm in another movie called Devour, and it was a very similar thing. We have creatures in that one as well. We have a minotaur, we've got a werewolf, and we've got something we call Dracubus. And they're all suits, and there's somebody on stilts and in the suit in the movie, and I just think it's, I don't know, they can do so much more when there's somebody inside the suit, but I know it has to be a pain because I can't imagine they're comfortable to be in. Especially up on stilts, that's crazy.
Right. And I actually interviewed someone last week, so his name's Kevin Kepi, and he's a creature suit actor. I don't know what the name is, but that's what I like to call him, which is super, super cool. But he was a Nightmare Mom in the first Smile movie. So
that's super cool.
So did you see the first Smile? Yeah. So that was him when it's like the long black hair, really tall, lanky person, right before what I call the fleshy boy comes out, the little flesh entity. But yeah, that was him. So I really admire when these actors are like they're sitting in makeup for hours on end, and there's just something really admirable about that. So I think that's cool.
That's a hard job. It's not comfortable. Like, you're not comfortable in those suits. There's no way.
Yeah, you're literally suffering for the sake.
For that long?
Yeah. I mean, I know I couldn't do it, but did you finish filming Devour already? I think I saw you may have posted something about it. Yes,
we are finished filming it. We filmed, I think, I think it took us 14 months to finish the movie. And when it gets released, you'll understand why, because it's a pretty epic production. And right now it's with Raven Banner over in Cannes Film Festival, and they're working on selling it. So fingers crossed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's going on now, right?
You know, Raven Banner's a good sales agent, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. And I think Cannes is going on right now, right? That over in France. Yeah. Oh yeah. So we'll see. You got wait a little bit.
Yeah, there's people sending us all pictures today of the posters up and everything. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, I'd be jealous. I've always wanted to go out that way for that festival. That's like my favorite festival, I think, is Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
Their number one prize, the Palme d'Or, the Golden Palm Award, that's like, to me, better than like the best picture at the Oscars, you know?
Yeah.
It's super cool. But going back to like practical effects and everything, so I was at a horror convention and I had seen Cranked Up Films, and one of the movies that they had a poster of was Replicator, which you're also in that one. And that one, you also, I'm pretty sure there's someone in a creature suit, but you also have other weird effects like, I don't know, like tentacles and like blobs of stuff going on. So what was it like with those types of practical effects, you know?
So for that movie, I was the one in the special effects chair because I have some weird things going on with me because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to give away any spoilers to anybody that's listening that like wants to see it, but I'm in the chair for that one. But it's not like that's the first time that I've had special effects makeup done to me. I've been creatures in movies, but I haven't been in a suit. I don't know about a suit. But I love working with practical effects. Great House did the special effects for that movie. I love working with him. We've worked together on like 5 different projects. I actually just am working on a movie with him right now in Ohio, and he's directing me, which is super cool. It's the first time that he's directed me instead of turning me into like a creature or killing me or something like that. But yeah, I prefer working with special effects. I'm a big fan of practical effects personally.
Yeah, and how often in your career have you worked with CGI?
There was a little bit of CGI in Replicator, and it's sometimes hard for me to like it. I feel like CGI is so difficult because like I might have one idea of what it's going to be, and then the director has another idea of what it's going to be, and like I can't see in that person's head to completely grasp what is happening. So CGI is just in general not my favorite. I think it's cool to like enhance practical effects, but I prefer practical effects. I think practical effects are cool. I think the process is really cool. Yeah, there is a little bit of CGI in Replicator. My tentacle is CGI in some places.
Oh, I got you. But it still
looks cool. Yeah, it still looks cool. And I kind of had an idea of how it was going to be, but I didn't obviously know fully what it was going to look like.
Right. Yeah, I imagine it's much easier to interface directly with something than like a spot. Like, oh, that's going to actually be this. Just pretend it's that, you know?
Yeah. It's, I also think that it's just in general, it's more fun when there's something on set with you. I think it's more fun to interact with something. I mean, that's part of the reason I became an actor, is because I enjoyed the process of like interacting with things. And when it's not there, it's just not as fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Then it's this is a job.
Right.
Yeah.
So really quick, just to build off of that a little bit. So what was your origin story with acting? What kind of got you into the craft?
So I was living in Ohio, and I was actually working on music with this band called Mushroom Head. The lead singer and the bass player were producing an EP for me. or with me, and I had never even considered acting. I'm going to be completely honest. I was on the path to do music. That's what I wanted to do. It's what I had wanted to do since I was a child. So that was like the thing. I was going to do music. And the lead singer, Jeff Hatrix, he was working on an indie film in Michigan at the time, and he was playing like this pinhead character in a horror movie. And I would go record with them, and he would be like in between shooting his stuff. He was like, you should try acting, because I feel like that's what people just tell pretty women that are artists. They're like, oh, you should try acting. And I was like, but I did, and I loved it. And so I just started training in it, and I do music, but like very passive aggressively. Very passive aggressively. I have stuff that I will release at some point, but I enjoy being on set. I don't enjoy being in a studio as much. I like to be on a set because like there's so many creative minds. It's like a big group project. Every day is so different. You're in different places. It's just, it moves a lot faster than being in a studio. And I feel like I'm like a real antsy person, and I need to like be doing something. So it's harder for me to sit in a studio and make music than it is for me to go and shoot a movie for 12 hours.
Right. And what kind of music were you or are you doing?
It's like goth pop kind of,
yeah,
gothy.
Yeah, that fits your.
I want to make spooky music.
Yeah, that kind of fits your aesthetic a little bit, So that's awesome. So you were inspired to act, and now you have like 69 credits, and you've got 13 coming up. So
cool.
Some
of those are already done.
Oh, it's just not released yet.
Right. I think that people just don't change the IMDb, but I wouldn't. I have a hard time updating my IMDb, so some of those are definitely done. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd have to go look.
But what kind of inspires you to have that Roger Corman or Charles Band work ethic with just like being in so many things in such a short time?
I really love doing it. It's as simple as that. Like I love being on set. It's my favorite place to be. I've seen some actors like complain about the long hours and stuff like that, or complain about overnights. Even the worst day on set is like, I'm still happy to be there. Like, I'm just happy to be included, honestly. Like, I don't know. I love being around all of the creative people, and I love to see how stuff is made. And I like acting, which is obviously part of the reason that I do this, but I love the process more than I love the finished product. I would rather make a movie than go to any of my premieres. I actually am starting a movie in just a couple weeks, and I have a movie that's premiering, and I won't be able to go, and that happens to me all the time. That I will be so booked that I can't even go see the movies that I've made. But I love the process so much. I even enjoy auditioning. Like, I just enjoy doing it. So that's why I've done so many, just because I like being on set.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's you don't see that as often, but I've noticed a lot in like the indie horror market. A lot of those performers, you see them like they're constantly working, because I think it's because honestly they have a love for it. And I think that's really admirable. But shoot, I was gonna ask something, but I forgot. Every time my son walks behind me, I become like aware of that, and I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, but so the process, you really enjoy the process. What about like, and I don't know if you've done this yet or want to, but what about like writing or even trying to direct one day? Is that something that's ever interested you?
I don't want to direct. I'm not interested in directing. I don't want to direct. There's a part of me that wants to direct. I do want to write a movie. I don't See, people ask me this all the time. If I were to direct a movie, I wouldn't want to be in it because I wouldn't want to direct and act at the same time. So it would have to be, and I love acting. I do have something that I'm writing. So maybe one day, but I don't want to direct it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Directors and producers, there's so much responsibility and so much power, and as an actor, I'm just like this little fairy that gets to go do whatever I want to do, and I don't know. I have a lot of respect for directors and producers and ADs. Like, those are hard jobs. My job is not that hard. Like, I show up and I have to like cry, so, and that's like hard on a different level.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Maybe
Usually,
someday.
yeah. Usually directors and producers, ADs, they're usually also like balancing a bunch of stuff too, right? They're,
Yes.
especially if you're understaffed.
Yes. And then I go back to my hotel. They stay on set. Like, their days, I'm like, my hours, it's like 12 hours. And they say that their hours are the same, but I know that when I leave, these people are still working. They're still making call sheets and trying to figure out shots for the next day, and what if it rains and all of this other stuff. And it's a hard job. So I don't know. Maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. At least you're writing something, so that's really cool.
Yeah, but I don't want to direct it.
Okay. Can you give any information about that? Any hints as to what it is, genre?
It would be a creature film.
Oh,
There would be a creature.
Awesome. So you don't want to be like,
I just love creatures.
this could be the first movie that you actually dress up in the creature suit.
No, I don't want to be the creature.
Okay.
Because the creature is much taller than I could be, and I don't know how to walk on stilts.
I was gonna say, you mentioned stilts.
That are like,
yeah.
Well, there's people that are like skilled at this. I am not a skilled creature actor.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So in the midst of all these like horror movies and indie movies, you had a small but prominent role in Juror Number 2. Directed by Clint Eastwood, which he's 94, which is insane. He's still doing it. But what was that? What was that experience like?
It was a super cool experience. Clint Eastwood is super cool. That crew was incredible. The crew that worked with him, like the core crew, they had worked with him on several of his other films. They've been working together for a long time, and it was just a well-oiled machine. Also, he likes to be wrapped by lunch.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. But he only does one take, which I knew going in because obviously everybody says that about Clint Eastwood. But there was a point where they filmed my last scene in the movie, or whatever the last thing that we had to shoot was, and he was like, do you want another take? And I was like, do you want another take? And he's like, no, I thought it was really good. And I was like, I mean, if you're happy, I'm happy. Like, I'm just happy to like be here and experience this. But yeah, he was super cool. He loved me. He just like, I would do something and he would be like, that's just really nice. So it was, working with Clint Eastwood was a really surreal experience. He's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, that's somebody who's been a part of the cinema zeitgeist for decades.
Forever.
Since the 50s.
He started in indie movies as well.
Pardon me? You got cut off.
He started in independent films as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a cool experience.
And since that was more of like, I know you said it was like a well-oiled machine, but since that was more of like a studio set, how does that compare to like the more intimate sets that you probably experience on the smaller films?
I definitely, on the smaller sets, I mean, I was on set for that for 5 days, I think. So 5 days, you're not gonna, well, that's not true. I was gonna say 5 days, you don't like really get to know people and like become friends, but that's actually not true because I definitely have. I just feel like on smaller sets, like I can, it's easier to know everybody's name. That set, there are people that I don't think I didn't meet all the crew on that. Whereas an independent film, a smaller set, I get to meet everybody and I get to learn about people. And I learned about fewer people on that one, I will say.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the charm of independent cinema, right? Is that you really build a relationship with like everybody that you're working with, and I think that makes the product a little more I don't know. It feels authentic in that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when it's done and you're out there talking about it. The way that you'll speak on that experience is going to be like probably much higher than if you were on just a huge studio set. You know.
Well, I obviously speak highly of that set because the producers were incredible. They were so good to me. Everybody that I worked with directly, everybody was so kind and welcoming. It was just a very warm, welcoming environment. Even like Nicholas Holt is just an incredibly warm individual. So it was just really, really cool. But then I've got like Devour. I worked with those people for 14 months. Some of those people are like my closest friends now. And I get sad when I go like a month without seeing them because we got so attached making this movie. So it's, they're just different.
Yeah, that's fair. And when is, I don't know if you discussed this yet, but when's the projected release date of Devour?
I'm going to assume, because obviously like it's in cans right now, and they're working on distribution.
Oh, right.
I'm going to assume fall, because it is a horror film, but I'm just an actor. So I don't know. I know they want to premiere it here soon, but I don't know what to expect with that. I don't know. I don't have a lot of information other than they're trying to sell it currently.
Okay.
But it's with Raven Banner again, so they're good. So they do well with their films, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. I know Shelby Oaks was picked up by Neon, but it premiered last year. I think it was Fantastic Fest, or maybe it was earlier than that. And sometimes when they purchase them, it might take a little longer for it to actually get a slot to release. So hopefully soon. So what, and I don't know if you actually have a favorite of these. It's almost like picking your favorite kid, but I think you've had enough credits where you might. But do you have a favorite role that you've done so far, or like a favorite movie?
Absolutely. Devour.
Okay, Devour. I should have guessed.
So cool. Well, I'm this badass vampire in a metal band. Like, I personally, like, I'm not going to say that I exclusively listen to metal because I don't. I like Lady Gaga.
Hell yeah.
But I mostly listen to metal. So when I'm a metal chick and I'm a vampire, like, and my character's just like cool and badass, and I got to be strong, and I have like probably the second most kills in the movie. Like I kill so many people in this movie. It's so gory. I love special effects. I love being covered in blood. Like I love creatures. This movie met everything that I could ever ask for as a performer. And my character's just badass. Like, the characters in this movie are all so badass. So it was, like, that movie was a dream for me. Truly, like, I loved working on that movie. We wrapped it. I was like, but we had, like, more to film, right? I probably got wrapped 3 times. And then they'd go through and they'd be like, okay, so we need this shot. And so I'd go back for pickups, and it was like a little bit exciting for me because I got to go back and like put my contacts in and my fangs in and everything, and like my hair extensions, and it felt like home. But I just love Scott and Des, so it was just like that movie was truly a dream for me. I loved working on that movie.
Yeah, you're really selling it. I really want to see
sick.
it.
It's gonna be so sick.
Yeah, you're a vampire in a metal band. That just that sounds like. And you said there's a minotaur in it, and
yes, the movie's about an all-girl metal band, and we're touring, and we're not doing great touring. We're a good band, but like, you know, we're a struggling band. And then we come across this town, and it's run by a warlock, and there's like cannibals in it, and like all hell breaks loose. It's kind of like Scooby-Doo meets Evil Dead.
That's an awesome combination.
Funny. It's really funny. It's really funny. It's really gory. We had blood cannons on set. It was so cool.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm fingers crossed for selling it, right? Raven Banner.
I'm sure it will have no problems being sold. It's a cool movie.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. That
should track is going to be dope because they've got a bunch of metal bands. So.
Oh, cool. Do you offhand know any of the bands that'll be on it?
No.
Okay, you just know that it's going to be metal bands. That'll be cool.
We do a cover of Widower by I can't remember the name of the band. They're not one of my favorite bands, but I like the song. Make Them Suffer is the band.
Okay.
So there is a cover of that in the movie. But it's not them, but that's like one of the songs we perform. So.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, that's cool. And so was it like, and this I'm just building off of that a little bit. So when you're performing something, like, are you performing the music live, or are you kind of like shadow performing and they like dub in the sound? How does that work?
Shadow performing. So the lead singer of the band is called the Virginia Bitches, which is what the movie used to be called, but for distribution purposes, they changed it to Devour. Rightfully so, I suppose, even though I think the Virginia Bitches was a cooler title, but it's fine.
I like that title better too.
I know, it's a cool title, but you know, our branding is still all over. Like, we got drum heads. The back of our van just says bitches. It's cool. But the lead singer of the Virginia Bitches is Heidi the Butcher from the Butcher Babies. Okay. So she's in the movie as well. So the vocals are hers. The rest of us are not metal performers. We are actors. So it is. I am the drummer. I don't know how to play the drums.
Yeah, that's.
I had a couple lessons prior to filming, but it's metal music. Both of my brothers are in a metal band. I know how hard it is. So no, I'm not. I am an actor.
Okay.
but you know, the way that it's shot, it's gonna be cool. But I think Heidi's the only one that had actual experience with metal music.
Okay. That's still awesome though. And it's funny thinking about like on set, like when I watch the movie, just like seeing you guys playing instruments and just knowing that you're not actually doing any of that. It's just,
I was hitting the drums. However, did it sound the way that it sounds in the song? No.
That's great.
I'm not an actual drummer.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, moving forward, do you have like a dream director or even a dream actor or actress that you would love to work with?
Oh my God, there's some bullshit happening here.
Uh-oh.
It's probably fine. I'd really like to work with Taika Waititi.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a master of dark comedies, and I'm a big fan of dark comedies. I love horror and I love dark comedies. Those are my two favorite genres. An actor? I don't know. There's a lot of actors I'd like to work with. Charlize Theron. I love her and everything that she's ever done. So I'd love to work with her. I think she's a powerhouse. Sandra Bullock. That would be super cool. It would be so cool to work with her. Same. I think she's a fucking powerhouse. But yeah, Taika Waititi. Mike Flanagan. I'd love to work with Mike Flanagan. I love Mike Flanagan's movies. I loved Hush. Have you ever seen Hush?
Yeah, I've seen all the stuff he
I
does.
love Hush.
He
Hush is one of my favorite movies.
It just got a really good 4K release. I've got it somewhere, but it comes with a black and white version.
That's cool.
And I think it's without the music. It's supposed to be like a Hush version, where they still have sound effects, but yeah, no music. It's in black and white. Really cool, really cool.
Yeah, I think he's wildly talented. Same with Taika Waititi. Like, I just think Taika Waititi is wildly talented. Also, I'd like to work with him as an actor. I don't know if you've seen Our Flag Means Death. He plays Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's so good.
He's hilarious.
He's
and
so funny.
And I noticed for your top 5, What We Do in the Shadows is one of the things, and he's
Well, that's his. I like the movie. The TV series is. I like the TV series as well, but I love the movie. And he plays. I can't remember the name of his character, but he's like the main character.
Tiago? Is it Tiago, or is that the TV show one? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember. But then he also directed it as well.
Yeah, and that's just. I want him to go back to like a horror type of project. I think that would be awesome to see him do that. And then he could cast you because it's what you're into, right? So get up.
I'd love to work with him. I'd love to do a dark comedy with him. Like I said, I love a dark comedy.
Yeah, and Mike Flanagan. I mean, that he. If you're talking modern day horror, I mean that's the number one guy right there. He's.
Yeah.
Did you see Midnight Mass?
I haven't seen that. I think they shot that here.
Really?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be on an island. So there's a lot of like.
He did shoot something here.
He's done a lot, but you should watch Midnight Mass. Oh my god, it's like a little vampire thing, but it's just he does such a good job with emotionally investing you in all of his characters, and I
love that.
Yeah.
I love that about his work is you do get so emotionally invested with the characters.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, Midnight Mass is my favorite thing that he's ever done, honestly.
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah, and so this last question, I like to bookend it with all my interviews, but where do you see yourself in 5 years? And this could be professionally, personally, whatever, but 2030, by the way, which is insane to think about that.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It's so crazy.
Hopefully the planet doesn't implode by then.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, I would like to. I work on a lot of non-union stuff now. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with the unions because the industry is very strange right now. Every time I do something, I'm always like, I'm ready to join the union, and then something weird happens, and then I'm like, well, maybe I'll just wait. Because I live in a right to work state, so I don't have to join, which is kind of nice. But I would like to join the union if things would stop being just strange for just a little while for me to make that decision. Because I would like to mostly work on union films. And I would like to make my own movie within 5 years. I think that, I think I have the connections that I could do it, but making a movie's hard.
Yeah.
I know how hard it is to do. I've made a bunch. Well, I've acted in a bunch. I haven't made a movie. So. Yeah,
and that's that creature flick that you were talking about earlier. Did you say what kind of creature it was, or do you not want to give that away?
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't
okay, that's fair.
I'm not ready to talk about it.
Okay, that's 100% understand. That's awesome. So being in Georgia, right to work. So I noticed that there's a lot of filming that happens in Georgia.
Yeah.
Have you a lot of the movies you've been in? How many of those, if any, have been in Georgia?
Devour was shot here. Juror number 2 was shot here. I did something with Tyler Perry that was obviously shot here. I did a couple other like studio things that were shot here. Smaller roles, bit parts. I feel like I mostly shoot here, but I also do travel a lot. Like this last month I was in Ohio shooting something. Next month I'm going to be in North Carolina shooting something, which is still in the South. So kind of Atlanta, but it's not. It's like 7 hours away. But I think that more of the stuff that I shoot is shot in the South than anywhere else right now.
That's fair. Yeah. I always hear about, I mean, The Walking Dead was a big example too, of shooting down in Georgia, but there's a few areas besides LA, that were starting to get like a lot of different shots. Like even New York was getting pretty big there for a while, and obviously Georgia, but yeah, that also, you know, the good thing about being a performer is it gives you an excuse to travel when you do get to travel, right? You get to,
I mean, my entire career I've traveled for this. My grandmother just asked me like 2 days ago. She's like, "Don't you ever get tired of traveling?" Sometimes before I leave, I'm like, I don't want to leave my apartment. But then as soon as I get there, like obviously I love doing this and I love meeting new people. So I'm always excited to be there once I get there, but sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes initially I don't want to do it. I have some anxiety about leaving my space for an extended period of time, but once I get there, I'm fine.
Yeah, understandable too. You know, yeah. Very, very cool. So here at the end, the floor's open to you again. So you could plug whatever, you know, if you got something coming soon, if you got websites, social media, anything that you'd like to plug here.
My social media, I only use Instagram. I use Facebook a little bit, but not really. My Instagram is KateLynn E Newberry. I shit post on there a lot. There's a lot of memes. If you're like following me. And then next month I will be working on a movie called Ascendant. It's a movie about a cult, and a woman that gets herself involved with one. I will be playing the woman that gets herself involved with one, and the cult leader will be played by Richard Brake, who's in Barbarian and a bunch of other stuff. He works with Rob Zombie all the time. So I'm stoked to work with him. The crew's really cool, so that should be a cool experience. And then, yeah, keep an eye out for Devour, Deathwoods. I have another slasher coming out sometime this year. Deathwoods is super cool. It's very gory. Special effects are super cool. So yeah, I think those are the two that... Oh, Meat, LGBTQ horror. That one is screening next month, actually. It's a slasher. It's really cool. It's directed by one of my best friends. So I'm really excited for that one as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to that. Richard he was also in Batman Begins, by Christopher Nolan. He played a small role in that.
A bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
he's getting off of Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh, I didn't even know he was in the show. Yeah, he's in like everything.
Yes, he's in a bunch of stuff now.
Do you get? Are you going to get screen time with him?
Yeah, I have a bunch of scenes with him.
Ask him a bunch of questions. Just really annoy him with all of his experiences. That'd be...
Yeah, he has a great career. He was in Game of Thrones.
He was?
Yeah, he played the Frost King or something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
he was...
I admire his career and the things that he's done. I'm really excited. I loved him in Barbarian. He was one of my favorite parts in Barbarian. I was so uncomfortable. So yeah, I'm ecstatic to work with him. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the Night King, which at least for the most part, that was like there were two Night Kings. I don't remember if he was the first or second one. But still, like that was like the big bad for Game of Thrones for like most of the show, and then we're not going to talk about season 8. I did not like season 8, but yeah, that's awesome though.
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, that'll be great. But thank you so much for joining me. It was great talking to you.
It was good talking to you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you have so many projects coming up, and I'm looking forward to them.
Thank you. I appreciate it.